Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're doing really well. My name's HUMNA and I share content connected to art, healing and spirituality. One of the journeys that I've always been on is of self-love, to truly understand what it means and how can we cultivate it. When we see ourselves from the eyes of those who supposedly love us, who are around us in this world, like in the physical realm, the relationships that we have, for example, your friends, your family, your children, your spouse, everybody, your shopkeeper, anybody and everybody that you interact with, they leave a certain mark on you. And you start thinking that whatever it is that they are seeing you as is making you worthy of love or not love, right? So it's one of the most dangerous things that one goes through in life when we see ourselves through the eyes of other people. On a personal note, that is exactly how I have lived most of my life. And very recently, in my 40s, I've come to understand that, oh my God, it was never their opinion that I needed to even focus on. But it was such a huge part of how they saw me that I started defining myself by every person who I met. If somebody liked me, that means I'm likable. If somebody loves me, then I'm lovable. But I would wait for them to give me an opinion of myself so that I could be either lovable, likable, or not likable, right? And this takes us into a spiral of being very unworthy, being very underconfident in who we are. We don't value who we are, and that's where the wound is. You see, that's where the pain is. Because when you see yourself in the mirror, what you see is the words and opinions of other people that is being reflected through your body, through your clothes, through the way you act, through the way you eat. And we have to really understand that nobody on this planet actually defines you, because you don't belong to anybody on this planet. You belong to the one who created you. And when you start channeling into that energy, that deep energy in you, the soul, you start reminding yourself over and over and over again, hang on, whatever this person is saying to me does not define me. Whatever and however they are looking at me does not define me. I am valuable to the one who created me. When you start living your life pleasing your creator and not the creation, you shift into becoming extremely strong in your backbone. And when I say that in your backbone, what I mean is that you start standing up straight. You start making the choices not based on what people tell you, but you start making the choices on what makes you feel stand up right. You see, when we look at body languages, right, we have to understand when your back is curved downwards, you are carrying a lot of weight on your shoulders. But when you're carrying the weight of your shoulders, this weight is not connected to Allah. This weight of this dunya, of the people, of their opinions that you are carrying. And so what happens? Your back bends, right? When your back bends, are you going to, like, so example, the tunnel, that your back is like straight, right? It receives light from Allah. It receives light from the higher realms. If your head is bent closer to the earth, then how are you going to receive light from Allah? This is symbolic, right? Don't take it like too much into mental side of things. Oh my God, Hamna, what are you saying? What I'm saying is that understand that your backbone is kind of like a tube, and it absorbs light from your Allah. If your tube is bent, the light is not going to come straight down. You'll have to make an extra effort to receive Allah's guidance and His light. Now, the reason you need your back straight is, have you seen like people who are very self-conscious, or they're not confident, they'll always like stoop down. You need to kind of have your shoulders and your heart opened up so that your shoulders back, like move them backwards, exercise to open your heart chakra, because you shouldn't be ashamed of who Allah created you as. You shouldn't be carrying the heavy burden and opinions of other people. You were not created to carry the opinions of other people. Rather, you were created to be in remembrance of your Allah. Now, if you're going to carry the burden of this world, you're always going to be what? Remembering who? People. right? This dunya, this world. But what are you meant to be doing? Remembering Allah. Now, to remember Allah, what do you need to do? You need to build a deeper connection with your Allah. So, when we take other people's opinions, it's because we're talking to them. We're spending time with them. We're valuing them. We're looking at them as something, a source of validation, a source of approval, right? We're looking at them for something. We have to turn our gaze and start looking upwards to only and only who is deserving of our gaze, right? We have to stop looking at people to approve us, to guide us, to even be there for us sometimes, because it's okay when they're not there for us, because no matter who is there with you or not there with you, it really, really doesn't matter. What truly matters is, are you there for yourself? Are you there with your Allah? Right? The more you connect to your Allah, the more you open the world of the unseen that sort of just heals you from the inside. Your ruh becomes connected to Allah's, Allah's light. And inside you, you feel this strength of like, nobody can touch me, for my protector is Allah. Nobody can threaten me because my provider is Allah. Nobody can come in my path because Allah is making all the paths for me. You become abundant not only in your physical reality, but you become abundant in your thoughts, in your way of life. You become humble because you know that He's guiding all of us, right? So you don't look at other people with envy or jealousy, because you kind of go, hang on, everybody's on their own path to Allah. I'm on my path to my Allah. I don't need to worry about them. I don't need to wait for them to approve me or like me or not like me. I'm okay being myself, right? We have to really, really commit to building a relationship with Allah, because that's the only relationship that truly matters, guys. Like, it's amazing how much time we have spent hearing and talking and discussing things of this dunya and wasting our verbal power. We've been bitching about people, we've been backbiting about people, and it's constantly about people, dunya, roles. It's so tiring. There comes a time where these things really drain you, and before that time comes, if you can awaken to the reality that the reason why you feel tired is not because you've been doing too much, but rather you've been doing things that are not getting you closer to Allah. If you were doing things that would get you closer to Allah, you would not feel this tired. And if you are feeling tired, frustrated, always sick, always something wrong with you, like something is always going on within you, your body is telling you that you're not in balance. You are not in connection with your Allah. You see, when you heal your soul, when you heal your heart, your life also heals. But it is you who has to commit to that healing, right? And you can't expect other people to do it for you, because that's not even possible. Your self-worth has to come from you. That wound that you are carrying has to be healed by you. You have to become your own healer. And I'm so passionate about this because on my personal journey, I have looked for people to help me find myself. And it was in that moment when I realized, you know what, I need myself. I need myself to save myself. And when I committed to that, everybody else faded away. Everybody who was not going to be on the path to myself, to my Allah, faded away. And it was painful. It was painful losing friends, relationships, and jobs and careers and whatever. Losing money, losing whatever lost. But it was so worth it, because at the end goal, I knew that I was going to meet myself in the way that Allah wants me to be. I was pretending to be somebody who others would be happy with. And I had to remind myself that that happiness that I'm providing them is actually not something that my Allah is going to be happy with, because I've actually converted my God to these people. I've been worshipping people. I've been running after people. I've been chasing them to love me, to value, to see me, right? And all for what? And I felt very drained, very depressed, very anxious. And I realized that it's because that's not what I'm programmed to do. I am programmed to be in ibadat through every single thing that I am doing. While it could be art, it could be cooking, it could be cleaning, it could be taking care of my daughter. Every single thing I could not do if it was not the will of my Allah. It is only and only He who is allowing me to do what I am doing, and that is the complete submission that I still wake up every day, and when I think about my fridge, I say, who's given this? Who's given this food to me? My fridge is full of food, and who's given this? Allah ka karam, like the shukr khuda, like that. Nobody's given me food. Nobody but Him. If it wasn't for Allah, my fridge would be empty, and which it has been. And for me to learn a lesson, how valuable it is to turn to Him for whatever it is that I want. And that goes for my self-worth also. I have to turn to Allah to see myself through His eyes. You see, for He is the provider of my self-worth. My self-worth is nothing. I am clay. When the clay was chosen to have the light poured into it, it was the light that merged with the clay that helped the clay become my being. Right? So it is the light that gave value to the piece of clay that was built for me. Otherwise, my worth is dirt, right? My body is clay. But when you think about it, inside my clay, He chose this bundle of clay, the grains of clay in my body, to hold His light. So even dirt became valuable when it was holding something that was gold. Right? And so we have to understand that the clay, the dirt that we talk about, is equally valuable because it is also from whom? It is from Allah. So when we start focusing and understanding that, hang on, this body, this clay was chosen to hold the essence, the light of the Ruh of Allah, meaning He valued this body enough to be able to have the Ruh poured into it. You see, He valued you to hold His Ruh in you to experience this world through this vehicle that you have, which is your body. So when you don't value your body and you keep looking at it as something that needs to satisfy a certain magazine look, you have to be a certain way to be loved, to be acknowledged as being beautiful, then what are you really doing? You are working on the standards of this dunya. You're looking at your body and not your soul. You see, it is your soul that comes out through your body, which makes it incredible. Because when there is no soul in your body, what happens? It gets buried under the ground, for that is where it belongs. The body is going to be left here and the soul is going to rise up. You see, when you understand the whole, the going up, what goes up, that what is valuable, that what shines, that what rises. What gets left behind? The body, the dirt, the thing that's heavy, that's going to be left here because you're going to go to heaven, inshaAllah, right? And so when you value your soul, you are valuing yourself as the creation of Allah, not what the body says, not what people say, you're fat or you're black or you're white or you're coming from this culture. All of these are created as separation. You are Pakistani, that one is Indian, that one is Chinese, that one is British. All of these don't exist in heaven. There is no boundary in heaven. You are one with everyone. So truly, when you separate yourself from British to the Pakistani, to the Indian, to the Chinese, to the Mexican, it's only based on the visual, physical world, but not in the spiritual world, not inside you, not the soul. We're all one. Not like just because you look dark or you look fat, doesn't mean that Allah doesn't love you. He would love a person who is fat or thin or brown or disabled, or who can see, who can't see. Allah loves us. And the proof that we have that Allah loves us is that He felt that our vessel could carry His light. He's given you and me the responsibility of carrying His light in our vessel. How valuable does He think clay is to carry His light? So when we don't take care of our body and we value it based on how we look and all that sort of stuff, we are judging Allah's creation. We are judging our body, and we're constantly being shamed, like you are this and you are that and you should do this and you could do that. When you really focus on your soul, the soul has a way to motivate you, to guide you, and to help you become fitter. And it reflects in your body. When your soul is healthy, it will reflect in your body. But when you are so focused on your body is going to be physically ill, because all you're worried about is your body, your physical. The real part of you is your soul. So the more your soul is at peace, the more your body will be at peace. It's okay. It's okay to focus on your soul first and then go into your body. You see, because people see you as body, they constantly comment on it. But it's actually so unfair. It's so unfair and so painful to see how we are killing each other's self-worth. And that's what Shaitan wants. Shaitan wants you to not feel worthy in yourself, to somehow either disregard your soul or disregard your body, to devalue yourself, because that's what he wants you to do, right? He wants you to see yourself as he sees you, unworthy. But how does Allah see you? As worthy. I'll repeat that again. Shaitan wants you to see yourself as how he sees you, right? And then Allah sees you worthy of holding His light. Do you see the power in just understanding these words? There is so much love that Allah has for us that we have lost it in making other gods happy around us. I get so emotional because, I personally have done worshipping of relationships, of money, of career, of running after things and people and all that sort of stuff. And I tell you this with all my heart, that it is really tiring. Trying to be like somebody else, because you're not meant to be that. You did not come here to be a photocopy of someone else. You came here to be your own self, the way Allah created you. You didn't come here to please people. You didn't come here to be a slave to them. You didn't come here to constantly be trying to, make yourself better. Your ruh is complete. It's real, it's raw, it's authentic, and you know what? It's actually guided by Allah. When you turn to Allah's book, when you turn to His names, when you turn to Him in silence, when you turn to Him in joy, when you turn to Him with the recognition that not a single heartbeat could go on in your heart without His permission. Every single cell in your being is actually in zikr, in praise, in remembrance of Him. It is only your mind that's not. And it says, do this and you'll become famous, do that and you'll become rich, because your goal is to become rich and to become famous and to be remembered. But then Allah remembers you even if you don't do nothing. Nothing. You are still remembered by Allah because you exist as a human being. Like, you carry his love inside you, in your ruh, and it's like your heart just melts with this love. It just overflows through your heart because There is no other love that can actually satisfy you than the love of your Creator. If this video reaches you and you feel grounded and held by your Allah, just make a dua for me today. I send you love, light, and peace, everyone. Enjoy, and I'll speak to you soon. Allah Hafiz for today.